So my first experience, we're going to talk about Villa Nabila. Somehow there's murders happen in the building, and then it went all to hell, basically. So people try to put it down. They try to hire contractors, but the villa is not going down.
Welcome back to the last broadcast, the show where the static whispers and not every signal should be found. Tonight, we dive deeper into the unknown with a special guest whose stories might just make you rethink what lurks beyond our reality. Joining us is Min, someone who had not one, not two, but three chilling encounters with the supernatural. These are not your typical ghost stories, they are personal, unexplainable, and raw. Min has agreed to break the silence and share what really happened and trust us. It's something you do not want to miss. So turn the lights low, plug in your headphones, and remember, if you start hearing whispers through the static, you're already tuned in to the last broadcast. Min, take it away.
Yo, welcome to the last broadcast, guys. Everyone, thank you to the elusive Hans. Crazy man. So I got three stories to start off first. So we're gonna start off something very simple to guide you to my personal experience. So my first experience, we're gonna talk about Villa Nabila. So what is Villa Nabila? So if you're in Southeast Asia, Singapore, Malaysia, all of you kind of know already about it. So it's like a villa that was owned by some French guy in Johor. He married this Malay woman. Somehow there's murders happen in the building, and then it went all to hell, basically. So people try to put it down. They try to hire contractors, but the villa is not going down. So my personal encounter with it was okay. So it goes back to when I was listening to another podcast regarding that area. So there was this shooting happening in that area by TV3. All right. So all of them were shooting in that area. They were shooting something regarding 1940s Malay culture, Malay architecture, all that stuff. What happened was the director was like telling them that, okay, guys, do not enter the house. Everyone who enters the house somehow get possessed by the being in there. So they say, I have a house in Jasin, which is in part of Malacca. So we will shoot inside the house in Jasin, but the exterior we will shoot in Johor, because that scary looking exterior was something that they cannot replicate lah. What happened was all the extras were all informed, the videographers were all informed, saying that do not enter this house, you will get possessed. So while all of them were eating, were having their lunch, and then these two main actors, this was on their podcast, he said that all the actors were wearing traditional clothing. Everyone was wearing traditional clothing. So even the directors who were participating in it, everyone's wearing traditional clothing. They were having their lunch. He saw two figures entering the house. So he turned around. He was like, "Hey, I already told you, right?" Then he stopped. So he stopped saying, these two figures turned around, look at him, but the problem was there were no face. No face, nothing. He was just wearing traditional clothing, but no face. Fast forward 2 years from now, was last year for me. My mom and my dad, they want to go for a wedding nearby that area, nearby Villa Nabila. So Villa Nabila is a very high-end area whereby there's Johorians staying there, which are like full of money, millions and millions and millions of dollars. So one of my mom's friends are those millionaires. So they're having this like Hari Raya gathering. So my mom and dad say, I cannot go there at night. So I need someone to drive me in the morning so I can familiarize myself with that location. So my wife and my daughter brought my mom and dad driving in that location lah. So they drive and and they found out that because my daughter is very giddy, very happy, very, like she will talk. But during that whole trip in that certain location, she was so quiet. She didn't say a word. So then my mom looked at her and she was like, "Hey, Medina, what's wrong with you? What are you looking at?" Then she told my mom, she's like, "Hey, behind this, I'm looking at the two people behind." Then my mom said, What are people like that?" "Yeah, just the two auntie got no face." I was like, they told me this story right after I heard the podcast while I was going back work. Say, I mean, today what Medina saw? I said, what she saw? She saw two people with no face. I said, no, I think maybe she's saying things. She said, no. Then I asked Medina, what type of person you saw? She said, saw like auntie wear the tudung, but when she turned around, got no face. Then I was like, what? It's two stories, totally different from each other, happening 2 years apart, but it's so relatable that, okay, so I believe on my own that kids can see all these things. So because they have the third eye, haven't closed, all that stuff, so they're more sensitive to all these things other than adults lah. So yeah, so that's the first story that was really very close to heart, happened near to my family. Then when I keep asking Medina, she still remembers the stories until today lah. So that's the first story.
That is crazy. I mean, just like having your daughter. And how old was your daughter when the story?
About four.
4 years old, yeah. So guys, just to share more in depth, when Min mentioned earlier that kids usually at that age still they have the potential to always see the unknown, always see the supernatural. There is a high chance possibility because my son, currently 4, he also sees something that is unexplainable. So it is very bone chilling, especially when you tell me the story, right? My legit my bulu roma, my hair here all rise up. It's crazy. Yeah, but I want to ask you, but could you think, right? Like possibly, when you heard stories from that, right? Could you possibly think that it could be a coincidence, or sometimes maybe skeptics like to say, or kids are always imagining things or whatever.
Right. Okay, my experience with kids seeing the supernatural, it's fine. Why? Because it started off with my brother, with our first so-called third gen. Our first third gen in the family is my brother's daughter. She's the very first one to experience all these things. So after that is her brother. Her brother has experienced the same thing. Saw these things, saw ghosts, but they don't. Okay, something about all my anak saudara, all my niece and my nephews, they all have this gift. Somehow it's passed down to every single one of them. All our third generation blood all have this gift. But some of them, they will describe it differently. Like my daughter would describe it more like she's not scared of it, but she's more like it's animalistic. Like my daughter's description of these things is like animalistic, more towards the jinn type. Like my nephew, he would describe it as friends. Like living beings, like wearing clothes, faces, emotions. He feels sad for them. He feels sad for those people that cannot pass on. But what we believe is not people never pass on. It's just the setan kirin just taking over their looks, disturbing the kids, So we keep telling them it's not your friends, they're trying to disturb you. Then he keep telling us, no, it's my friend. So it's like, then another one of my anak saudara, both of them were basically haunted lah. They were haunted for 2 years because the same thing has been chasing them everywhere they go. So I stay in Malaysia, then my sister will stay in Singapore. So every time they cross the border, they say that thing will follow them.
Wow.
Yeah, so basically haunted for like almost a year plus. Then my mom and dad, we grew another tree. We grew the pokok bidara. Then we cut down the tree. Then we tried all that to mitigate. Then it was gone lah. So there was another crazy story. That was another crazy story. But yeah, this type of thing, I have skeptics, I know. But the thing is, the stories co-align. Like these two guys from KL come to Johor, talk about people with broken face at Villa Nabela area. My mom and dad drove in that location, and my daughter saw two people with no face. So I'm like, it's crazy how it's like, how
what are the chances, right? What are the chances? Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
That is seriously interesting. That you hear stories and then suddenly the event unfold in front of your daughter's eyes. That's crazy. But I want to ask you, after that, right, after the incident, right, did your daughter see like any of those the faceless people like following her or try to communicate with her, anything?
Okay, so the most recent one that happened was quite scary for me, because I had to so-called confront them, saying that don't disturb my family. Because backstory, 3 weeks ago my wife's grandmother passed away, right? So we have to drive all the way to Kelantan, which is a 12-hour drive, then drive 12 hours back. Okay, so on the way back home, Medina went to school the very next day. We went to school, Then while I was picking her up, her teacher talked to me personally. She said, Min, yeah, you need to talk to your daughter. I was like, why? She got say something, but you need to clarify with her lah. You don't talk to me about it. I was like, why? No, just talk to her. So I pick her up. I asked Medina, you okay? Everything's fine? Then she's like, yeah, I just saw my monster friend. I was like, your what friend? One more time. She's like, what do you mean monster friend? I was like,
Cute,
yeah, my monster friend. Then the monster mom and monster dad. I was like, wait, why you say monster? Yeah, because they just look, they just like dirty people. I was like, huh, okay. Then where does monster friend come from? From the Grammy place, the grandmother place. Grandmother, I thought my grandmother place because I thought my mom lah. Because my mom stay here, right? He said, no, the one that we drive very long with the big car. Yeah, they follow us in the car. I was like,
oh shit.
damn. I was like, okay, so where they stay? Like, where do they stay? They said, I tell her, do they stay at our house? No, they have their own house. I was like, oh, okay, then where are they now? They're sleeping lah. They wake up at night only. I was like, damn, what do you mean wake up at night? They said, no, they only awake at night. So in the morning they sleep. I was like, okay, this is all scary, right? For us, we here as a dog, I have to hold my shit together. I was like, but inside I'm screaming the hell. Why am I supposed to deal with these monsters? Like, okay, what color are the monsters? They say blue, green. Like, I was like, this is basically all the stories, all the folklore that we know. That's how they look like and the colors. I said, do they have sharp teeth? She said, yeah. Do they have long tongues? Yeah. Do they have all that stuff? Do they look like snakes? Yeah, they got snake skin. I was like,
snake
because
skin,
she's good.
wow.
She's good at describing, she's good at describing. She loves animals. And then she's not scared because she loves animals. So she look at them as, and like I said, animalistic. So it's a bit weird. So that's when I enter my house, when I come back home from that day, I come back my home, I turn around at the front of my door. I say that, do not enter my place because I do not enter your place. This is not your place. Please go back to your place so that I don't disturb your family. So do not disturb my family. Because I do not know any Arabic incantations. I was so scared. All the Ayatul Kursi, everything was not finishing at that point of time. I was slurring. I don't know what to do. I just turned around because I can feel my bulu roma. I can feel the hairs on my back start to come in already because I know something's following me, bro. Like, I can feel that feeling. Something watching you?
Yes.
I can feel that going into my house that night. So just before I enter the house, my wife and my kid go in. Then she was like, why are you not coming? She said, give me talk to someone. I said, what? Talk to who? I was like, there's no one here. Just give me a moment. Talk to someone. That was the one I told it off lah. I told it off. And then, alhamdulillah, until today, there's no more disturbance, that kind of thing lah. But occasionally she will see here and there, but we just like take it as though like, okay, as long as the thing not following us at our home, disturbing her, then she'll be fine.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. That is good. That is very, very good. Because at my experience, right, if my co-host were here, because currently he's serving reservist. So he cannot be here, unfortunately. So what Kay usually would describe this as what your daughter say lah. They are correct. She's correct. They are jinns, right? They can, look like animalistic. So maybe to them, right, from them having shapeless form, and then they read her mind. Okay, maybe she's comfortable seeing me as an animal. Then I shape myself as an animal lah. That could be. And then it's very good that when you talk to them nicely with respect, right, you do not have any backlash like fever or anything that scratches on your back, something that hurt you. But you don't have that, right, after you say to the door that.
Okay, so when I dive deeper into this, my sister-in-law has scratches on her back. Okay, because my sister-in-law was sitting with her and my wife. So right after I mentioned this, she said that she has some pain at the back. So my wife go see. There's literally 4 scratch marks on the side of her elbow here, right, all the way from her shoulders all the way down to her elbow. I was like, when this happened? She said it was yesterday. I was like, damn. So maybe.
Crazy.
So maybe they were angry at me or what. So then they went to my sister-in-law to do whatever because she's okay. These beings, right? They love weak people. People who are mentally weak, not physically weak. You can be physically scrawny, but you're mentally strong. But people who are not mentally strong, they love to disturb this type of people. So my sister-in-law, I'm not saying she's mentally disturbed. I'm just saying that she's going through something. She's very stressed, So they tend to cling on these things, right? So then I think that's why they attack my sister-in-law, to be honest. Yeah.
That's a very good point, because many people, they don't realize, right, when you're going through stuff, negative thoughts come, they are attracted to negative energy, and just so happen that's the entry, they masuk already, and that's where the disturbance happen. That's very good.
You can be a person who reads the Quran every single day, knowing all the meanings, going through the hadiths. You're like a scholar, but you still can get disturbed by them. It's not.
For sure.
It's not. You're not picked out, singled out, saying that, oh, Allah tell you that I'm not. I protect you, but you need to protect yourself also. Like, Allah is not just gonna protect yourself. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one part of the story that was quite interesting with my daughter, lah. Yeah.
All right.
So,
Let's move on with the second story. I mean, take it away.
Okay, so the second part. Okay, moving on. Okay, I'm a kind of guy who loves to absorb information. Like, I think Han knows me very well. So I love to listen to other podcasts regarding this. So I was listening to another podcast regarding Malaysia roads and everything, like the death toll. I love all these things before I sleep. I don't know why, it's some psychotic thing I like to do. So while listening, so the road of Jamaluang. So Jamaluang is this long stretch of road from Mersing. Is on the eastern side of Malaysia. Okay, so if you see Malaysia like this circle, right? So on the left side, you can see all the water parks. The water, this is where you go to Melaka, all this stuff. So Mersing is on this side. So it's going to Terengganu, Kelantan, this side. So Johor was spread out this way. So when we going this side, usually people go for Jamaluang, go to Muar, where they eat their mi bandung and everything. But people from Melaka will rarely go to Jamaluang, then go to Johor, because you're cutting a stretch. What? Or what you want to cut here, then go here? Just go from Melaka down straight lah, right? So the story was, my mom and my dad and my sister's family, they all went to Melaka. I didn't follow because I was working. Me and my wife, while waiting for them to come home, usually the trip back from Melaka to Johor is about 2 to 3 hours. At most 2 hours and 45 minutes if you're driving, as you know how you drive. So I was listening to that podcast, listening about Jamaluang. It was used to be a British colony. There's even British bunkers there, and these bunkers were supposed to act as graveyards, because the Japanese use these bunkers. They purposely look like Japanese graveyards, so that when the Japanese go there, they will pay respect at the bunkers, and the British will just like go off and shoot all of them. So these bunkers were death bunkers, in a way. So when the Japanese come to Malaysia, they're like, oh, because they love to memuja, they love to talk to the dead. These Japanese people, they have this deity and all that stuff. So if you go to Japanese folklore and all that stuff, they have their own god about death. So they love to talk to the dead. So every time they see like a funeral head, a funeral home, they will love to just go there and sit down and just have a minute, So what these British amazing people did was, they made their bunkers look like funeral homes, like those type of statues. Then the Japanese will go and pay their respects, and then they pay their respects, then they start shooting them. Sorry. And then okay. So moving on, my mom and dad, I heard a podcast regarding Jamaluang. It was this Singaporean family. They want to go to Pahang. So when you go Pahang, it's on this side. It's on the middle side, but you can go from Jamaluang, go to Pahang. It's right in the middle. So when they go into Pahang, okay, Jamaluang have this trait. I don't know, however pious you are, however religious you are, once you go in on this road, you will feel hungry. Somehow everyone will say the same thing. At that point in time, they're like, should we have a smoke break? Should we stop here? Should we makan here? But actually, in the fact that you just started your journey, like 30 minutes ago, but somehow you feel hungry. So Jamaluang have this lure, they will lure you like this. So being a Japanese colonized area at first, they used to set up shops to makan and all that stuff. So this Malay family, the wife and the daughter saw, hey, Dad, let's stop here. I'm hungry. So the father was like, okay, we stop at this shop. But the weird thing about this shop, okay, specifically about this shop, all the men were not wearing shirts. They were just wearing shorts, like jean shorts. So they are like working men lah. They're working something. But there are people eating and everything. So the wife was like, hey, let's have some like kampung food lah. That's why I like. So the husband was like, okay, you order. I go to the toilet first. So the husband, going to the toilet, you baca some dua before you go to the toilet. Then when he opened up that door, he saw it wasn't a toilet. It was just a rundown thing, full of leaves, full of trees. It was already run down. There's nothing. There's no toilet. Why do I see a door? But when I open it's. So when he turned around, he saw like a whole shop being demolished. Like Then the wife and daughter, crazy. They were looking at leaves. You know, down the
Yes.
big leaves. They were looking at leaves. They were trying to order. They were talking to someone. They were literally talking to someone. Then the husband was like, B, I think we don't order. We go for another R&R. He was acting very calmly lah. But the wife was pissed off. The wife was like, hey, no, I want to eat here. But the husband was like, hey, never mind, I know you want to eat here, but it's okay. I think it's not right for us to eat now because he blamed the kid because later she stomach problem. The toilet's not good. Then the wife's like, okay, never mind, we go off lah. She still she slammed the menu on the table, but she still look as if like she's already brainwashed lah, to be honest. So when they take a few steps down, the husband just turn around, say Bismillah and spit on her face. Say, hey, why you spit at me? Okay, now look at the shop. She turned around. She was so in shock that she was sitting on a branch, literally on a log, like makeshift table, holding leaves. So like, you saw what I'm telling you? We should go now. So okay, they left. Okay, it was a big story in Singapore. Cut to my parents. Okay, so okay, like I said, journey from Malacca to Johor is 2 hours. I was thinking, okay, it was already 12 midnight. I was like, okay, 2 a.m. I unlock all the gates. They could be coming in. So 2 a.m. I waited downstairs. No answer, no reason. Okay, so I locked back the door. I messaged them. I say, yeah, we on the way. Relax, we on the way. Okay, 4 a.m. they are at Muar. I was like, oh, so maybe they from Malacca, they go this side, they go Muar. Okay, so they go eat their mi bandung and everything. That was around 5-6 a.m. They reached Johor 9 a.m. They were like, such a long journey. They were complaining, don't know where your brother-in-law bring me. I was like, okay, so where do you guys actually go? Then my wife said, yeah, which road? Oh, we went to Jamal Luang lah. Then we like, where you go? I said, Jamal Luang. Why you go to Jamal Luang? Like, it's the other way of the world. Then she was so funny. She was like, no, we see some nice shops. We want to stop and eat. I was like, okay, ma, the shops, are they men wearing no shirts? Yeah, I was telling your father that. I was like, why the men all not wearing shirts? I was like, ma, do you stop at the shops? I wanted to. I was so hungry. Your father don't want to stop. I was like, then I saw my father shaking his head. I said, Pa, do you see any shops? No. I was like, then my brother-in-law was like, do you see any shops? No. I was like, then what did my mother see? I don't know what she saw. She just tell me there's like people not wearing shirts. Then I was like, I was so scared. I just tell her don't stop. Then I tell them the whole 3-hour journey you guys didn't smoke. Yeah, me and your brother-in-law never smoke. We just all the way come here because we're so scared about your mother. I don't know what to say. So then I told her the story about Jamal Luang, about all these people. She was like, oh my god, just imagine if we were to stop. Then I was the only one that was brainwashed and so-called mystified, to see this thing.
Yes.
I was like, yeah. Then the thing is, like, it's the first story that I was listening to this podcast, not related at all to what's happening to my life at all. Then this thing happened right the very next day. So it's like, it's like so crazy, So yeah, that's the second story, like, yeah.
That is very interesting for the second story, because a lot of times, right, especially places like Indonesia, Malaysia, right, they are, and some more Thailand also, they are very well known for having jinns or entities like glamour certain places, certain areas, or certain whatever lah, for certain people to be lured in, like what Min said. And then once you try to, engage or makan the food, when you thought, oh, it's all nice, but when you realize it's all cacing, it's all like the worms, insects, everything disgusting you can think of. And what he mentioned about the leaf, right, is actually very interesting in our spiritual practice and our spiritual belief, right? When a jinn try to pass you something, right, in reality it will become a leaf. So that's how it all plays out lah. So that is actually very interesting. I mean, like ever since, like, have your family ever go through back the same place again in other time? Yeah. They have they see again, or anyone see anything, something like that?
Because it was we drove back in the day. Yeah. But okay, my blue roman naik. The problem is, right, we never ever go into that road. Like, we always plan. So my brother planned, hey, jom, let's go Jamal Luang where Mama drive. I was like, okay. Yeah. Okay. Come to the weekend, we never do it. And this story been 2 years ago. Like, somehow we can never plan properly to go specifically to that road. Because that road. So it's like, we don't know why that day my brother-in-law can somehow bring my mom to that road. Whereby now, when we say to my mom, okay, mom, is now we know where they are, right? So how about we just find them, just destroy them or something, like my father, like. So he was like, yeah, I don't mind, like some supernatural chasing or what. Then we were like, okay then, but the thing never happened until today. Like it's been 2 years already. Crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I believe you have the third story because for the second one, it's very self-explanatory, right? So
Yeah.
I don't have much to dabble in. Can you go into
Okay.
your
So,
third story, please? Thank you.
all right. So now is where you guys are all been waiting for the third story. So this one is regarding myself, me. So I'm okay. So before kids being born, right? Because I was still uh, a bachelor lah to say. I haven't married yet. Everything was quite new. So I don't actually believe in all this supernatural thing because I personally never see before, never experienced before. I only hear stories. So I learned the prayers. I learned the things to protect myself. Yes, but to personally see and explore and feel, I'm not there yet. I haven't feel that before. So moving forward to Gunung Ledang. So Gunung Ledang is one of the widest mountains in Malaysia. It connects from Johor all the way to Pahang. So it's about a 245-kilometer mountain range. It's crazy. So there's a big history behind it, but the story is basically inside all these mountain sites in Malaysia there are fairies. Fairies like they call it Bonyan people. So these people they are always trying to lure us into their realm so that they can learn more about our culture. It's not so how to say they want to destroy us. What they're not. They're just another being living in this world that we need to know about. They just like to talk to us. Basically, that's what they like to bait us lah. They just like trying to know all that stuff. They just want to know how we are basically. So okay, how I know this? Okay, how I know this? So I went to Gunung Ledang at the Johor site. So at the Johor site, they just revamp this whole place. There's a swimming park. It's very nice to bring your kids and everything is very nice. But there is the Ibu Air. Ibu Air is when the waterfall drop. So the water will compile right on top, and then it will one time crash down onto the swimming park. So when the Ibu Air crash, people can die or let's say fatalities happen. So Johor has already get rid of the Ibu Air. They make it on top into another swimming resort also. So to climb up from the bottom resort is about at most of 20 minutes climb up because it's just staircase.
Crazy.
So I was like, okay lah, I want to go up to go see the top part of the mountain lah, because they say it's a beautiful view and everything. So it was me. I was going up with me and two other guys. These two guys, Malay guys, were following me lah. They say, hey, you want to go up lah? I was like, I just following them. Then I overtake them. Then I go up. Then they follow me. So all the way going up, everything was nice. It was a very beautiful staircase. Everything was done nicely. I reached to the top. I took my phone out. I take a photo. I was like, oh, very nice. I went back down because I don't want to go up because all my family downstairs. So for what I want to go shower all by myself up there. So I went down. So okay, I'm going up the same staircase. I'm going down the same staircase with these two guys lah. Because the two guys say that we don't want to shower alone up there lah because it's a bit scary, right? So they go down. So we're going down. Okay, remember I said that it takes 20 minutes to go up, right? But now going down, it's been 35 minutes. I keep looking at my watch. Why haven't I reached to the ground yet? Like what's happening right now? Then I told the other two guys, hey, korang ikut aku Like you guys follow me. He said, yeah. Why we haven't reached to the ground yet? I follow you. What? Are you lost? I was like, how can we be lost? We are going down the same staircase how we go up. We were like arguing in this tree. Okay, then one of the friends was like, okay, don't argue so loud. I was like, what do you mean don't argue so loud? There's a lot of people around us. He said, no, there's no one around us. Then all of us, we turn around because when we're going up, there's a lot of people going up. 40, 50, 60 people. But when going down at a certain period of time, there's only three of us. The main guy, the main Malay guy was using a Garmin watch. Okay, a Garmin watch has a satellite locator, right? So they know where we are. Guess what happened during that part? The satellite locator not working.
Oh shit.
You know? I was like, okay. So this guy was using, the other second was using an Apple Watch. Say, check your Apple Watch. Where are we exactly? Because that time Apple Watch, the new Ultra have the satellite locator also. So like, oh, my Apple Watch suddenly overheat. So when an electronic product overheats, you cannot use them. Samsung, Apple, same thing. I took out my phone. You guess what happened to my phone?
Right.
Overheat. They say overheat, you don't use your phone for the next 15 minutes. So all of us were lost. We cannot call anyone. Then we were like, what is happening right now? We were like, okay. I said, Min, okay, just keep going down. I will follow you from the back. Then the guy at the back start using the prayers already lah. I kid you not. I start smelling roses. Smelling, the Febreze smell? It's legit Febreze floral, the rose one. Okay, you want to know how Pontianak smell, right? You go Febreze rose. That shit smell exactly like the hantu, I tell you. So, okay, I know. I know, yeah, the jasmine smell. So I know that, okay, the smell coming, okay. I can smell, I touch my nose. I look behind me, this guy face red already. It's like, okay. He looked at the stones. He was like, look behind you. It's like, what? I turn around. There's literally 3 big boulders. Okay, if you can see in the picture above, right? There's actually boulders that's being cut by the Bonyan people to guide the Bonyan people back to their realm in a way. So if you see these big boulders being cut into half, and you keep following them, you are going to enter their realm in a way. So okay, all of us were like, we were shitting our pants. We didn't know what is cut boulders. We didn't know. So then this guy, I'm gonna climb this boulder. I'm gonna climb this boulder right now. I was like, no, don't climb. You're gonna fall and die. I was like, okay, I'm gonna climb the smaller boulder to see how far off we are from the track. So this guy was quite flimsy, so he climbed the tree, he climbed the boulder. He was like, damn, we were so far away. We literally from the back of the resort now. I mean, can you see the way out? I said, yeah, okay, I'm gonna follow you. So he took the lead. At this point of time, it's going to be Maghrib already. Because we went up Asar, we went up 5 p.m. Coming down, we can see the sun. Literally, we can see the sun setting. I can see everything's happening, all being dark. So, I swear to God, his Apple Watch start to show that going to be Maghrib already. Because the Muslim Pro will show like the 10 minutes before the Azan and everything, right? So it's like, I'm going to be Maghrib already lah. Okay. After we reached the ground site where our parents all were sitting, right? My mom told me this, and the 3 guys, right? So fast, you go up and down. All of us look at each other, we were like, what do you mean so fast? We were lost for 2 hours. No lah, you just go up like 15 minutes ago. I was like, okay, logically 15 minutes to climb up at my size is not logical also. I was like, how can I climb up and down 15 minutes? She said, oh yeah. Then she said, she checked her watch. I go up 4:30. Her watch was showing 4:45. So I was telling the guys, we were lost 2 hours inside their realm already. Lucky we managed to get out because their realm time and our time is 2 different time. They were like, how you know this? I was like, movies lah, of course. Like, maybe who knows? Then he was like,
don't you watch The Conjuring, mom?
I was like, we were 2 hours lost somewhere. We didn't know. Luckily you got us out. Then he was like, damn. I was like, okay, is your watch working now? Coincidentally, at that point of time, it's not showing Maghrib, it's showing 4:51. Then, okay, you logically think all of us climb out was 20 minutes. Then they tell me, hey, Min, you go take picture right upstairs. Check. Oh yeah, that nice picture. Okay. You guess what happened to the picture?
Blackout. Over black.
Corrupted.
Oh.
The file in my Samsung phone is corrupted. It's crazy. Memory didn't read. How can they can mess up with technology, bro? So like, yeah, that's my personal experience with the Bonyan people lah. So yeah, they're trying to lure us to their realm lah in a way. Yeah.
Or what I could theorize from that, right? Maybe just so happens when you try to go down, or maybe when you try to go up, right? You accidentally enter the portal, because there are many stories, right? Many stories and personal encounter from people. They always mention Bunyan whenever they're visiting our world, they open a portal for a certain period of time, and then after a while they will close it lah. So you are actually very lucky to enter and happen to experience something like this. Usually people here at this time, this age, right, will say, oh, maybe at that point of time your phone is very old. When they snap a photo or what, right, there's some issue with the camera, hence the software whatsoever. And then when you try to go down, right, they like to say it's a mind perspective, because when you every time go down the same route, it feels very tiresome, hence the 2 hours. But I can always say like what I believe your story and what I believe it is real is because our body, our senses, right, I've been telling this for quite a few times already, our body, our senses is always telling us something is weird, something is crazy, I don't feel comfortable. That's where you know it is real. It's not your mind, it's your body senses, your human instinct. Yeah, so that is actually very crazy that you entered through it, and luckily you came back home safe.
I keep dreaming last time was this one many years ago. I keep dreaming of this word jerangkung. I don't know why. Okay, So and then one point in time, I have this amazing dream about me fighting this nenek jerangkung with my dad. It was a very vivid dream. So I talked to my mom about it. I was like, what is jerangkung? She's like, oh, that's skeletal lah. I was like, oh, then what's nenek jerangkung? She was like, that's the ghost lah. You don't know why the story? I was like, no. What story is that? Yeah, they like to live on trees and all that stuff. I was like, wait, hold up, rewind. How come you know this story? She's like, yeah, it's a very old folklore, like what parents would tell you, like come back for Maghrib, the nenek jerangkung will catch you. I was like, okay, how old is this folklore? She was like, about maybe when I was a kid, maybe 40, 50 years ago. Then how come I'm hearing it in my dreams? She's like, I don't know, I never tell you about it. I was like, no one tells me about it, then how come I know this word? She's just like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you kena kacau. You got go under a tree after Maghrib. I was like,
okay, maybe just go there at like, okay, 7:15. I'm standing under this tree.
right under a tree for no reason. So like, this is like, maybe I got come across a tree in Singapore or what lah. But then I remember vividly. Okay, at the bus stop where I take the bus go Singapore, right? There's actually a very big ancient tree. Like maybe this tree is like 20, 35 years old. Under that tree, there's a burger Ramly shop lah. So whenever there's a burger Ramly shop, I'm there. I'm sitting right there. So I think the reason why I keep sitting with this uncle, keep talking to him, I think that's where the nenek jerangkung saw me, follow me, and all that stuff in my dreams lah. So that was kind of a weird thing lah, to be honest. Like to experience something in my dream, then I bring it out into the physical world. Talking to my mom already about a 40-year-old folklore that I don't even know about it. It's so crazy, yeah.
That was crazy. Like this is all bonus stories, guys.
Yeah.
But I don't want to drag any further, so I would like to say first of all, thank you so much for joining me in today's episodes. And I want to let you guys know that wraps up for today's chilling episode of The Last Broadcast. There was 3 stories. Bonuses, of course, came in unexpected, impromptu. And then we have this wonderful guest of mine, a whole lot of questions we may never find answers to. I mean, like, of course, we are wondering, like, how can this thing happen, Everything else. Can it truly happen or is it in our mind? That kind of thing. So, again, I would like to say, Mina, thank you for sharing your terrifying experience with us. Or whether it's a shadow figure or an apik never wear shirt, or it could be you standing at Maghrib in the middle
for some reason, I don't know.
For some reason, you just stop by, thinks that it's a good idea, or any whispers in the dark, That's one thing for sure. Something is watching, waiting, and listening. To our listeners, if you have a supernatural encounter, please don't keep it to yourself. Reach out to us. Your story might be featured in an upcoming episode. Remember to subscribe on YouTube, follow us on TikTok. I will put those links. I'll put those links in the link bottom, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a signal. Because here at The Last Broadcast, not all signals are meant to be found.